You want to know what's crazy, Anton? I actually saw a video that countered what that lady said, and she said, you know, the reason why, and this isn't my sentiment, I'm just give y'all a synopsis of it. Do you know why you have that interaction with that white man or that white supervisor that you do? Is because they don't see you as a competition. They don't see you as competitive. They
How would
don't.
she know? I've seen that video too. How would she know?
I don't know. Ask her. I'm just saying, like,
But she's just
it's
talking.
another
She's never
side of
been in a
that.
position of
And I was
power.
like, okay, I could kind of, different
That's not
perspective on
why.
that.
I've
But
had
I
a
think to some
I've
extent
had
it
a
could make
white
a little
male
bit of sense.
supervisor that has helped me significantly in my journey. Probably the single most important person that has helped me to be successful in corporate America. And he was just real with me. It's the honest to God truth. Like I was kind of running in the victim Olympics and I was kind of pouting at home a little bit. And he pulled me to the side and he said, Anton, go get this book called Diplomacy by Henry Kissinger. And then I need you to do this, this, and this. And we gonna have a conversation. And I had to go home, change my attitude. And what I realized is that when I made him look good, he made me look good. And so his goal for me, ultimately, after I got my attitude right, was to replace himself with me. And what he taught me, one of the things that he taught me was the best supervisors are not ones that's trying to manage you. The best supervisors are the ones that's actually trying to figure out how they can empower you so they can replace themselves. And that's what enables them to be able to get to the next level. And he taught me so much about, you know, attitude, cultural fit, because I was already, I was good at my job, but that's not the thing that gets you promoted. And that's what most people got to figure out. It's not about how good you are at your job. It's about whether or not you actually can make people like you and you a cultural fit and if they believe in you as a leader. And it's a lot of other factors that go into that. And he had to teach me that, but he didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to do anything. He was already going to be on his way. And so, it was really helpful. And it wasn't an agenda. He was just being real with me. And I think that a lot of women, especially in corporate America, they get their feelings involved instead of removing their emotions so that they can get to the point to where they can be more successful. So what I found is that when you find a female supervisor a lot of time, especially a black supervisor, don't matter what industry, don't matter if it's corporate, don't matter if it's retail or whatever, they tend to be a lot more emotional and volatile. And boy, don't you get on her bad side because that chick will turn into the bitch from hell, and you just gonna have to find another job at that point. Because
So,
they
Anton,
black women, honestly, and I'm gonna be honest with you, in corporate America, they are unforgiving. If they rock with you, they'll rock with you, but they cannot remove their bias. They can't be objective. And I don't, it is what it is. But if you get on a black woman's bad side, it's over. Find another job, dog.
I agree 100%, and I definitely think I again I don't want to say it's all black female supervisors, but just in my opinion, just primarily female supervisors. I also think too is because they at least like when it's woman to woman, they try and build this like relatability type of relationship with you, but then the moment that you like insert professionalism or they break that barrier, whatever happens, it's like that's when they come at you, because it's like they start off their at least in my opinion, majority start off the management trying to be a friend, trying to be like that safe space, that open space, but we don't get that with our male supervisors. Like, like a female supervisor, she might give you her cell phone number and tell her that you can, reach out to her after hours if you need something or something like that. But like the male boss will literally tell you like, no, it's like work hours are work hours unless it's like a complete emergency. Conversations are strictly professional. So I do just see like, at least with women too, they kind of break that professionalism barrier and kind of make it more of like a friend or like a less casual superior relationship sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And I also found out that they tend to get more easily offended because it's almost like they feel like they got to prove that they're on the same level as everybody else. And that's where a lot of times you get that whole, you know, we had to work harder than everybody. No, he was just a little bit more unruly. And you don't see a lot of black female supervisors in the really profitable spaces. You don't see them in tech. You don't see them in banking. You don't see them in those areas. And it's a reason, because I believe it's because they can't get their attitudes together. And so they tend to go more towards service-based roles, retail roles. Even if they do find themselves in a tech space, it'll be in something that's not tech related inside of a tech company. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you'll find black women, this is the honest to God truth. You'll find black women in the diversity, equity, and inclusion office. They were heading up the diversity, equity, and inclusion division. They'll be the diversity, equity, inclusion coordinator at some university, or they'll be at some government fucking job. That's just the
And my
honest
resume,
to
that's
God truth. They always have the same positions. They always in HR. They always in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they always in something related to that. They don't win in sales. Sales is a place where you got to have people skills. You got to learn how to network effectively, all of that stuff. They don't win in tech. They're never the direct supervisor in tech. Now, you will see some Indian women in that space. You don't see a lot of white women as supervisors in similar places that you see black women. You see white women supervisors in some of the same places as black women. But it's usually Asian men, white men, those type of guys. They tend to go get the MBAs. They tend to go and level up. They tend to do that type of stuff. So it's always the same thing. It's always usually the same thing. So it's interesting. I find it interesting that y'all think that working for women is fun. I don't even think having a woman pastor is fun. So
I don't agree with that either.
Said it was fun. And I
Nah,
definitely
like
don't
Sarah
agree
did
with
the-
women leading churches. Or ain't no, I no, no, not no,
I mean,
no,
pastors.
no.
They're
only
doing.
men can lead churches, but
No.
Pastor John got 5 mistresses, 6 kids.
Oh, not
He-
John
and
Gray.
First
what the
Lady
worst part
Jones.
about what the worst part about black women that
Pastor
become
John
successful.
Gray.
Black women, not even that become successful. Black women that hold these positions a lot of times, oh, they look like shit.
But
They just look like
Anton,
shit.
the male pastor's been messing up for years, though. Cheating.
No, hold on.
You can't even
Before we get to the church
kids.
part, black women that is in corporate America that get to any level, whether they're in HR or whatever, they keep them a fupa. They always hair is not right. Like they got that stiff ass hair. They just look like shit.
You think it's because they focused on their career or couldn't date it or anything, so they was able to just focus on climbing that ladder because nobody wanted them?
I don't know what's wrong with them. They eat a lot. I don't know if it's stress eat or what. It's the truth. It's the truth. I don't know what's wrong with them.
I think the biggest thing is that you can't really say it's like you don't want to have that fight. You don't want to have the conflicts. I think a lot of people just a lot of times in those environments don't say nothing. They just avoid it. So then they just keep doing the bad behavior and nobody can really check them without feeling like some issue is going to come up.
If you see a black woman that's coming up to you in corporate America, chances are, nigga, you about to get fired. Either you getting fired or you about to get on a PIP. You're going to be on a performance improvement plan.
Wait. Speaking of black women in those positions, how about what's her name? Jean-Pierre, the old secretary.
Oh, the press
She
conference.
switched over to Republican. So say
No, so-called independent, so she could sell her book.
Yeah, she called herself independent.
You about to get fired,
and
you going on a PIP.
They had her up there on that pedestal telling all the lies.
Now I will tell you a position that black women hold, and they fight for it, and they hold on to those positions for a long time. Is you can always find a good old black woman in an executive secretary role. They love being executive secretaries. Black women love being executive secretaries. They hold that position for dear life, and they do really well at it.
That
I've
They'll be
known a lot of
smiling
black
when you
women
walk
that have
up.
been executive secretaries. That's the honest to God truth.
They don't be smiling.
Look, they hold nurses too, but I mean, they're not too pleasant with that either.
So,
They do.
Jess,
And
can
they,
you?
and
So,
they,
when you
they
go
just
to a
set
majority of places and you see a black woman like at the desk or whatever, are you generally saying that she's or like smiling and pleasant, or if you saw somebody else, she'd be like, "I'm gonna go to her." Like when you just pictured your everyday life and you walking into these buildings, you see them at the desk, the DMV, all these places.
I'm
Are
glad you
those
asked
pleasant
that.
faces? Are those happy faces that you're looking at?
I'm glad you asked that because I check my bias at the door. And what I'm saying is if I'm going into a situation like that, I have an assumption of nothingness, right? Because it's easy for me to just put that assumption on that woman saying, oh, her face, she's not like this. So clearly she got an attitude when the whole time she could be thinking about what she finna eat for dinner. So
But
when
she
I
at
go
work and
straight to
that's
like
bad
that,
customer
every black
service.
it doesn't
woman
deter
thinking
me
about
from
dinner
going
on
to
her
her because
mind.
she's not smiling, right?
I hate
I
bad
check my
customer
bias at the
service.
door and I say, what is that rooted in? Is that rooted in something that she's genuinely like displaying, or she genuinely did something to me, or am I making incorrect assumption based on what I think she might be feeling? Now I'll go like gauge our
Y'all so
conversation. It'll
hostile.
give me more from there, but I don't have an
So
assumption either
hostile.
way, and it don't deter me from going to her because she's not smiling.
Jess,
I've
you
So
never
know,
seen like
It's
I have
so
I'm
never
being
funny
seen
completely
because
honest, y'all.
she
y'all
don't use
so
the same
fucking hostile.
metrics. She don't use them same metrics whenever you talking about white folks. I'm sorry.
Yes, I
She
do.
don't.
And the same what kills me about you, Kamaya, is you seem to think that I have such this disdain for white people. I'm not sure where you get that
Go
from because I don't get on this app and talk
go listen to
about
your conversations. You
Kamaya.
can
You
go back on the
need to.
videos.
Oh
It's
my
on
gosh,
record.
you
It's
got to
on
stop.
record. It's literally on record. You could go back after this.
I
You
have
got
yet
plenty
have
of
gotten
time.
of. Did I strike
You
a
got plenty
nerve?
of time. Just go listen to yourself. Have
Did
you
I?
ever
But
went back and listened to yourself?
Are you
body
are you
language
okay?
isn't it
Are you
body language
okay?
like eighty
Like
percent of your speech or something like that, of your talk, whatever? So if body language is represents a lot of your communication, then if you have a resting bitch face and you look like that, then 9 out of 10 times it's gonna be an attitude that comes behind it. Because if you're
nice, but
pleasant
that's an
and you're
assumption,
if you're
King. That
pleasant
I
but if you're
don't make
pleasant in
that.
your everyday life, if you're pleasant, then you should look pleasant, right? Because your body should emulate the pleasantry that you're feeling, right? So a pleasant person doesn't look mad or doesn't have a resting bitch face if they're having a pleasant day.
That's
If
a
I'm thinking
regular
about
face,
food,
King. How you gonna tell somebody they regular just face just
No,
with all of their facial
listen. Hold
muscles
on, hold on, hold on,
relaxed?
Jess. Let me help you. Jess. I'm gonna throw you out here. Most of them is going through perimenopause.
All right, Anton, you was gonna throw me an alley.
No,
That wasn't
I,
the one. That wasn't the I was
Seriously,
looking for. You
no,
could have kept that one.
seriously. They be having like they always got some level of depression, postpartum, perimenopause. Um, I don't know what it is. I honestly, and now I'm being serious. A lot of y'all are be going through that age where y'all have y'all insides taken out. And am I wrong? Am I off?
Yes, you
I
that's
just,
are.
I
crazy.
just want to
why?
know, Jess, like,
So
why
wait a
are
minute. So
Not?
y'all don't be getting y'all insides taken out?
Ow.
They
What?
We
do. They
do, but
get
it's just
insides
funny that
taken
you be
out.
knowing this stuff, and it's hilarious that you just come out and
And
say the
some of
things
these
that you
How
say.
don't I know it?
I don't know, but
Jess?
I'm
and some of
surrounded
these
by
I
women
females,
just, I just
every
want to.
day. I talk to women all the time.
and they
And they
bipolar
all
as
be
F. Like, come on
bipolar.
now.
They all bipolar. They all got their insides all out and
And a little
in.
bit of autistic.
They got their insides out and in. Um, they all crazy. Black women are crazy. And I don't know what's wrong with y'all. And y'all need help. And y'all honest. And you don't need help from don't go to no more therapists. Y'all therapist is over for y'all. Don't go to no more
They're
goddamn
not
therapist.
going to therapists. That's why they need to go. They need help.
No, not from a therapist.
y'all woke. Don't
Listen,
send them to
listen,
no
let me tell you
therapist.
something.
Molly, I love you, Molly. I love
stop
you.
picking your own solutions.
Do
If
she
you
love you
knew
though?
better, you wouldn't be in therapy. You can't
I
pick
don't care. I
the
can love
person
whoever
that's
I
going.
want to, Jess.
Hold
That's
on,
how love
Kamaya.
goes. I can share all my love,
Kamaya.
baby.
Hold on, Kamaya. Y'all can't pick. If you listen, if you can't pick the thing that you think is gonna fix you because you don't know better. You see what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna pick the person to fix you when you don't even know what's wrong with you?
Anton, is not a word that should be used.
Says who? I knew a whole bunch of kids
I'm-
back in school.
And-
In room nine, I knew a whole bunch of kids. Helmets, short buses. Some of them always wore football jerseys, but they had the whole pads in there. I knew chicks. Let me tell you something. They always had that strong strength too. You ever?
And
have
she
you ever,
said she do now.
have you ever kicked it with the kid? A lot of y'all, that's your baby daddy. But because we had the No Child Left Behind law now, what's basically happened is they mixed us all together. So now you think that these guys are normal. No, he was supposed to be in the slow kids class, but they passed him along. Y'all celebrated him. Shout out to little man and them. Nigga always had that extra strength on him. We all know who he is. Everybody got him in their family. Y'all got baby daddies by him. Then you keep wondering why your kids is cross-eyed. Keep saying that he got ADHD and he autistic. No, he is slow. You have a slow child because your lineage is broken. And y'all need to. Anyways, I ain't gonna keep on.
Yes.